In this video, I'll show you how to use an email template to send an email in Microsoft Power Apps Power Automate. Now, a while back, I posted a video. I've created a Power Automate flow. Now, in this Power Automate flow, I have used a couple of unbound action, perform an unbound action and perform an unbound action one. Now with this action, I was able to send out an email. So I have used an action send email from template, and then another action named as msdine send email from template. They both does the same thing, but then in a different way. You need to pass on the parameter in a different fashion, but that's not the goal of this exercise. Now I've already covered this in a video. If you haven't seen, you can go ahead and watch it in my channel. Now, the goal of this particular exercise is first to craft a template. Okay, so I have already created this template. So as you see over here under email templates, I have created one template, Power Spec, Power Text Spec email template. Now here in the email template, I have passed on some static value and some dynamic value. Now as you see over here, welcome to the channel, and this is the dynamic value which I am passing. Now, dynamic value. Now, how the dynamic value is passed is there is a specific syntax. So if I want to pass some dynamic value, what I'm going to do is I will be putting a curly brace, and then I will be putting the logical name of entity. So whatever may be the logical name of entity, so it can be contact, it can be account. Then I put a colon, and then the logical name of the column. Okay, so logical name of column, and I'll put a semicolon, and then I'll put in a curly brace, and this is how I form that entity. So let's form an entity for email. So now this is for a contact record, right? So if I want to extract email, what I'm going to do, I'll go into the contact table over here, and then in this I have this email column. Now just ignore the data because I've just put numbers over here. But if you want to extract this email, I will just click on edit column, and I will find out the logical name. So the logical name is email address one. So I'll just copy this. Also, the entity name is contact. So we know the contact is the entity name. So how do we form the component is, let me put it over here. So if you want to extract the email, then you just say email, and this is just like a static text, and you put a curly braces, say contact colon, and then we paste the value of the column email address one, semicolon, put a curly brace, and then just save this record. Okay, now here we have forgot to add exclamation. Now remember, exclamation is important. So if you put an exclamation, then you save it, then this will be formed. Now as you see over here, this has actually validated and it has given you this value. Okay, so let me clear out the template over here, so I don't have anything over here. Okay, so first thing what we have done, we have added an email. Okay, now this is how I get an email. Now if I want to get other record, I'll go to city, I'll go to edit column, and I will copy this address one underscore city. Now you go over here in the email template, and I will just type in city. So exclamation is important. Put the logical name of that entity, colon, and the column name. Put a semicolon, close the curly braces, and then the moment you click on save, it will start resolving. And if the resolution is correct, then it will show it in this format. Okay. Now let's take one more column. Now I have one more column. Say I have this back office. Okay, so there is some value back office. Now if I click on edit column over here, I will see this is a choice column, and I'll take the logical name is back office customer, and I will just write back office as a static text, single contact colon is back office customer, semicolon, and click on save. Okay, and I have another table, another column basically called as a choice. So this choice one is like freight, right? So this column name is called as freight terms. Now it has two option, FOB, no charge. You can add other items as well, but in my case I will just pick up this freight term. So I'll just pick up. So this is like different than the back office. Back office is just two options, but this is like a uh, choice, and it's synced with a. It's not. It doesn't sync with a global choice. So I'll go over here. I'll copy the freight terms code. So freight terms exclamation, entity name, contact, and the column name, semicolon, and let's run this now. So I should be able to get this information correctly. So in the template, I'm sending it to a couple of people. I'm linking it to specific record. Now those specific record, as you see, is like for Ailey and Alfreda. So you will see this information. So let me remove all the existing records. So let me delete all these things. So currently there are no email messages over here. But once we run the Power Automate flow, it should send out an email regarding Ailey and regarding Alfreda. So I've hard coded these values, and this is my code. Okay. So let me run this Power Automate flow. So what we have done, we have modified the template a bit, and we have referenced 4 columns from a contact table. So I've run this code. Now, once this flow runs, I should be able to see 2 emails. So I can see this 2 email. Let me go into one of the email. And as you see over here, this email has come and it has successfully picked the email address. City it has picked. But what about back office and freight terms? It has picked up the the values. I just want the display name. Okay. So I don't want back office as 0 or freight term as 1. What I want is back office as say either yes or no, and the freight term as FOB or no charge. Now, how can you do that with a template? So that's the goal of this exercise. So in order to do that, we need to just do a small change in the syntax. Okay. Now, freight terms, how did we created that freight terms is we put a curly brace, exclamation, contact, colon, and we added freight terms code. We put a semicolon and then we ended the curly braces, right? Now instead of that, just before closing, just put the forward slash at the rate name. Okay. And then put a semicolon and then put a curly brace. Click on save. So that's about freight terms. Now, similarly for back office is also a multi-choice or like two-choice option. So for that, we also need to do the same treatment. So curly brace, single code, contact, colon, and the name of the logical name of the column is back office customer slash at the rate name. So we are going to keep the old value as well as the new value, and we'll just see how this thing will look in an email. Slash name and click on save. So forward slash back forward slash at the rate name. Click on save. Now let's run the Power Automate flow. Now once you run this flow, you should be going to the email messages to see you should receive 2 more email message. So I'll just clear out the filter and you will see you have received 2 more email message. Go into one of the email message, click on edit, and then here you should be able to see this information. So what we have done, we have successfully referenced the title or the name rather than the backend value. Okay, so you remember like when you create a choice column, you get that weird number 405133, 405134, 405135. Now instead of getting that number, we have taken the label. So in order to do that, what you need to do, like the syntax is simple, just append slash, put an at the rate, put a name, and then put a semicolon, and then close the curly braces. And then this is how you can get the information. Now, what all information can you get? So the first one, which you can get, is a choice. So if you have a choice, you can get that. Second one, if you have a multiple choice, you can get that. Third one, even if it's a global choice. So it can be a global choice or a local choice, you can get that information. If it's a two value, that means yes or no, two options, you can get that information. Alternatively, you can also extract the information from a linked table. So if a contact table is linked to an account table, an account table has some value, then also you can get that value. So I'll call it as a reference value from other table. So you can get all this information with this particular syntax. So remember, the syntax is you just put a table name. So first put an exclamation, then put the table name. In my case it is contact. Put a colon, and then you put the column name. Okay, so this is the column name, and if the column name is a two option or global choice or multi choice or choice, and if you want to refer to that value, put a slash at the rate name semicolon and then close it. And this is how you can extract the information in the email template. So that's it, folks. This is how you extract the values and show in your email from backend Power Apps Dataverse table. Thanks for watching.